So we've got our 2012 Passat here, and US market Passats, even though the automatic is a DSG, they don't get DSG shift paddles. To add them, you actually need to change the steering wheel. You might have gathered that because I have that here. So I'm going to just go ahead and do it because this is a really easy thing that you can do yourself. And the first thing I want to point out is I've not disconnected the battery. It's not necessary to do when you're working on airbags. These are actually very safe to work around. So the first thing we need to do is to get the airbag off of the steering wheel. And I'm going to demonstrate that with this other wheel. On the back, there are these metal springy clips. And you have to push the clip down to release the locking tabs on the steering wheel. So, turn the wheel up. There's a spot on the back where you can reach in and pop the clip. We'll repeat that. And now the airbag is loose. Inside of here, you'll see there's this yellow connector. Pull the white tab forward, and then you can pull the connector off. And then there's a connector here on the inside, which is what connects to the buttons. And we'll just disconnect this harness. I'm going to put this tab back in. Which way does it go? Like that. And I want to point out something special about these airbag connectors. When you remove them, there's a shorting tab inside that shorts the two wires going to the airbag together. So even if you had a bit of static electricity, it wouldn't set the airbag off. This is now totally safe to handle. So I'm just going to set it aside. Now we're left here with our steering wheel. We need to remove the center bolt, which is a triple square. I'm going to go get that. Okay, so this is a 12mm triple square. So one thing I'm going to do first is I'm going to get the steering wheel mostly centered. You'll see when I pull it off there is a centering mark, so it won't be too hard to put it back. And then we'll just remove this bolt. I actually might go ahead and lock the steering column here. There we go. There's that out. You'll notice this has some Loctite on it. What's there I found is good. You don't need to renew that. And the steering wheel now, before I pull this off, if you look in here, is there an alignment mark? Yes. It's very faint, but you can see where this line lines up with the mark there on the actual steering column. So now the wheel will just lift off. You may have heard about the clock spring recall that Volkswagen is having to do, and this device right here is the clock spring. Now it's important that you don't rotate this with the steering wheel off, because it'll throw off the steering angle sensor, and then you have to recalibrate it, so you don't want to have to do that. So now that I've got this wheel off, I can put this wheel on. And because we didn't move the clock spring, I know about where it needs to go. Something like that. I'll get the my bolt. Take it back down. Important, this is tight. You don't want the steering wheel ever coming loose. grab our airbag, plug the little side harness in. We'll plug in the airbag harness. I'll reseat this white clip that I accidentally pulled out. Notice when it's in, it goes flush. To put the airbag back in, you just kind of work it till it clips. And we're done. Now we have paddle shifters. I'll go ahead and grab my VCDS, do the one little bit of recoding, and we should be all set. One other problem I ran into with this used steering wheel is this chrome trim piece at the base of the wheel was kind of scratched up. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer that from my existing wheel. And if you look, it's got all these little tabs around the perimeter that just kind of bite into the soft rubber. So we just need to pull firmly but gently. It'll come out. To install, we'll wipe off a little bit of dirt that's on there. And now it's in. Okay, so I've got my VCDS here, it's hooked up. I'll go ahead and key on. One thing you'll notice is that the airbag light goes out. We do not have an airbag fault because we never turned the ignition on with the airbag disconnected. So I'll go ahead and open up VCDS. And then we can go to steering wheel. Coding, long coding, and then I believe one of these bits in here, steering wheel with Tiptronic buttons installed. We'll do that. Exit, do it, coding accepted. So to view that this works, I'm going to go into advanced measuring values and we'll pull up all of our Tiptronic buttons, and you can see, expand this out so we can see the full label. If I press the minus button, it says operated. If I press the plus button, it says operated. So we're good to go there. I'm going to also check the auto trans. I don't think this has any, no, that's fine. So we're good to go. You can see how easy it is to retrofit the paddle shifters to one of these cars that didn't originally come equipped. And I'm going to go for a test drive. Thanks for watching. Okay, so now I'm going to press the minus and we're in tip mode. If I press and hold this, you can see it goes back to drive, so you can change gears with just a touch. And I can go back to drive by pressing and holding the plus paddle. Cool!